let me get the gamer out front. There we go. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah,
hey,
you got it.
By the way,
you
thank
know how it
you
works.
so much for your copious and wonderful coverage of our game.
And
it has been so great, and you know, I'm just really grateful, very grateful. So thanks a lot, man. It's just been awesome, dude. It's just been, you know, it's just you clearly you enjoy the game, but it's and that's great. I just really appreciate that you put that into the website as well. It's
Thanks.
just really cool, man. It's really cool.
I want to cover it in a way that other people aren't. You know,
Yeah,
I always want to like try to bring something new. So,
That's smart. Yeah, I love that.
People like
Man,
it,
you've been knocking out the park.
Thanks, buddy.
It's outstanding, dude.
Cool. All right, you want to chat here?
Let's chat, shall we? How we doing? All
right.
Okay.
Hey everybody, Eric Schweitzer here at the Ravensburger booth at D23, joined by two gentlemen who really need no introduction.
Well, kind of need one though.
Ryan Miller, Steve Warner, the fathers of Disney Lorcana. When I walked up and saw you guys, the first thing that struck me was that I don't think I've seen both of you together since Gen Con.
Well, it's kind of a rule, just in case something happens. We take different planes.
Right.
We don't see. Yeah.
Survivor.
So for you though, we're breaking the rule. Just for you though, Eric. Just for you.
Have you been at the same event since last year?
Probably.
Well, so when I saw you in Atlanta, you were in Lille.
Yep.
So there's just like so many events you have to split it up.
I mean that's really what it is there's a lot going on. We have with the challenge series, which has been just amazing, and then of course all the conventions and such. And I have a 2-year-old, so I have to limit like how many I go to, right? So it's just, you know, we try to split them up, that sort of thing. But I love working with Steve. I love traveling and stuff. We always have a good time. We have a tradition.
Oh?
We have a tradition. On the last night of any show we're at, we go to a very nice steakhouse and have very nice steak and very nice bourbon, and it's outstanding. Let me tell you
Very nice. Wow, I'm jealous. Okay, so then next month is Vegas and...
Oh, we will both be at Vegas.
You'll both be at Vegas?
We'll both be at Vegas
Oh, that's
and
what
Seattle.
And Seattle, of course, because
course.
that's where we're operating out of.
planes, so.
Yeah. I mean, I still take a private plane because I'm Ryan Miller, you know. So I'll take it to Seattle. It'll be fine.
It's got your face on the side of it?
No. That would be too much.
The other thing that struck me just seeing the booth and seeing you both here was all the different reasons this is a celebration. Because we're at D23, which was where the game was announced 2 years ago. It's also the Shimmering Skies release, and it's also the 1-year anniversary of the game. So, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's
amazing year.
So many emotions.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
You guys have talked about in the design process, sort of like that moment when you knew you had a game, when you knew like it was working.
Oh yeah, about 5 months in, when we had done maybe a dozen other designs that they just crashed and burned, and then we started on this one about 5-ish months in, and it really started to crystallize.
Yeah. So I'm wondering now, the game's been out a year. Was there that moment where you knew that it was successful, that it wasn't just speculation, like you actually had something that was resonating with people?
I think Gen Con at launch for me, because we had such a showing. And what was really interesting about Gen Con was because I went to talk to folks in the line and just kind of get to know them. In fact, the very first people in line was this wonderful couple. I think they were from Oregon. They were super sweet. They were there on their anniversary trip. They had never been to Gen Con before. They were Disney fans. They hadn't played a trading card game before. And so it was just so neat to see so many people like that there too, because I mean Gen Con is a great show. I've been going for multiple decades now. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and it was just cool to see new people come and enjoy that and experience that. Right, It was really, really cool. But I think that to me, you know, when we saw the lines, you know, and day one of Gen Con was it was challenging that day. It was very challenging, to use a term from the game, But then the next day we worked with Gen Con. They were amazing. They did a pre-line for our booth. In the history of Gen Con, they'd never done a pre-line for any game ever. And I think that for me was a moment like, okay, we have something. Well, I knew before we had something special, but this is something we had, as you said, resonant.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and it must be so rewarding. Like the goal was to make a great game that people would love, but you had more higher ambitions to bring in people that weren't TCG players to delight Disney fans specifically, and it must be so rewarding for you guys that like those goals you're actually hitting, you actually see the results.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of people that they come up to us and they say, this is the first TCG game that I've ever played. I never thought I would play a TCG until I saw this, and then I had to try it, or I'm just a Disney collector and I finally just gave it a shot to try to play it, and it was really easy to pick up, and I loved it. I mean, the stories that we get from there has been great.
And I think for me, my favorite are like the families that come together. It's like super fun. It's to see like, you know, mom and dad. I've had so many dads be like, well, my kids are getting into the teens and it's just not as cool to hang out with dad anymore, but this is a thing we do together, right? Or the couples that are like, this is our date night on Thursday nights. We play Lorcana. It's just wonderful, right? And it's just such a, and that is really our hope. We want to bring new people into trading card games because trading cards are fun. It's a fun way to game. And I think more people should play them, right? And I think Lorcana is just a great way to do that, right? It's just so fun. And now we have Gateway coming out, or just came out rather, a few weeks ago. And that's super exciting, right? Because it is really for the folks that have never tried a trading card game before. And what's neat about it, I think, is that it starts you off with just the very basics, right? You have 2 30-card decks. Yeah. There's like characters and like a couple of other action cards, that's it. But then as you play the game, you unlock packs. And the packs are special packs that shuffle into the decks that add new stuff. So, you know, a pack might have item cards in it. And now you learn about items, but you only learn about them after you've played a few games already, right? Yeah. And so it's really about establishing a play pattern and then adding to it. And then by the time you're through all 4 packs, you've got 60-card decks, you've got a firm grasp of the game, and you're ready to like go to a store and play against people or play with your family. It's just, so we're very excited about Gateway.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with Gateway. I love the way that it gamifies learning how to play the game. So I did a whole write-up for it. Check it out on the game.
I know. It was great. Nice work, man.
Can I talk to you guys about the panel yesterday?
No.
All right.
I'm kidding. What you got?
So much great news. So much to talk about. So first of all, we learned about all the various championships are coming to Disney parks. Where else could it have been, right?
This game has been, this journey with this game has been like dream after dream coming true.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, doing a Disney game has been a dream of mine. Having it be such a hit, that's another dream. Having it be sold near the parks, like at the downtown Disney, Disney Springs, stuff like that, that's another dream. And like we got to go on a cruise and teach people how to play there. And then one of the dreams was like, could we ever have like world championships at Disney World? That was our dream, right? And here it is, right? It's going to be so fun. And it's not just worlds.
Right.
We're going to have competition, but we're also going to have side event. We're going to have like a celebration. So even if you're not qualified to come to Worlds, you got to come anyway. Yeah, like me too, right? We're going to have side events. We're going to have fun panels. We're going to have all sorts of cool stuff. So it's a very exciting.
When you started organized play, was that was like, well, obviously we're going to have something at Worlds, at Disney World.
Yeah, well, it was actually something even before organized play started that we had talked about, that we really were hoping that we'd be able to get. And so it was a dream, and now it's a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think for us, the start of organized play is really more about the league, because that's where it really is the most important. That's where the community is born and it grows. And so we had kind of an eye out to the future of like maybe Disney, but our focus really at the beginning was on that. And then of course, in our continual collaboration with Disney, they've been amazing collaborators and very excited collaborators. And so really to have those discussions kind of start blooming and bearing fruit and things like that, it's been really cool to see that.
Yeah, they must be excited. They must have seen a crowd that showed up for us yesterday for the game.
Yeah, they were here today as well.
Yeah, wow. Somebody at the panel yesterday when you were talking about the organized play shouted out, "What about a kids league?" And the panel was not a Q&A, but this is. So what are your thoughts about a junior league? What are the challenges around that? Where are you guys at with that?
Well, that's what I call a Bruno question. We don't talk about Bruno. Sorry, man.
All right, we'll move on. Okay, so another big announcement was Pixar. Very exciting. That's the big crowd pleaser. Can you talk about the timing of that? Why 2026? Why announce it now? How did you make that decision?
I mean, there's a lot of factors at play here, right? But really, it's like, when is it right for Lorcana? We have so much wonderful, with the Disney animated features and the shorts and the Mickey and Friends, so much wonderful stuff to cover. And what we don't want to do is do too much too soon.
Yeah.
This game is not 3 years, this is 30 years, right? We are really wanting to make sure that this game lasts. And so we don't want to, so really finding a time and then working with Pixar and making sure that we, pay proper honor to these wonderful characters and stories and just, these really emotional, stories are so good. And so really it was like working with them, talking with them, and just internally, just like, when is this right for our game, right? Steve and team are working pretty decent, length out, So, folding that in, I think we picked 26, and I think that's just a good time. We by then we'll be much more well established. The hope, and then it's time because it's a big move. I mean, Pixar is it's a big deal, right? And so we want to make sure that it has its own kind of space to live in, and so that's why we picked 26.
Your favorite movie, Sword in the Stone? Which is why we have so much Sword in the Stone in the game. I know you like Little Mermaid a lot.
Do you like Little Mermaid a lot?
If everyone promises not to read into it too much, can you tell us your favorite Pixar movies?
So mine is WALL-E.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the fact that they're able to do so much with so few words in the dialogue, and the amount of expression on the characters and everything. It tells an entire story without it. They don't need words.
Yeah.
So, I really hope that we can capture that when we actually do start doing Pixar.
Mine is Coco. I think it's a beautiful story of family and love and loss, and it's just so heartwarming. And especially that last scene when he's trying to get his great grandmother to remember, right? And it just gives me every time. It's so good, right? And it's something that I think, actually these two movies I think they exemplify like the strengths of Pixar, right? There's so much they can do with so little or no dialogue. Like the first few minutes of Up, for example, and also just the emotional resonance that they can really pull through their characters and their stories. So it's just something that's going to be very cool to add to Lorcana. It's just very exciting.
Cool. Well, there's one more reason to celebrate this weekend: the death of the squirrel.
He's not dead. He is not dead.
He's not dead.
He's not dead.
Well,
he's upgraded.
Let's talk about this upgrade. So you say. It's one thing I've always praised you guys for, since going all the way back to the first editions at the last D23, was your ability to just rapidly deal with a problem, make a decision, address a concern. And this feels like one of those circumstances where there was something going on and you took action and you made a decision. And so compliments to you, and everybody is very happy that you came to that decision. But can you talk a little bit about that particular decision that you made and how you came to it?
I think the best way to explain this, we were paying attention from the get-go. We always pay attention to all the things going on. And so he was in our sights pretty early, but we don't want to be too quick to react, because that wouldn't be good either. But we just kind of kept an eye on him. We wanted to see what effect he was having on the game. And what we learned was it wasn't so much the power level that we were concerned with, it was people not having fun when they played. Mm-hmm. And that's the worst thing for us. And the game is to be fun. And so we wanted to make sure that we recaptured that fun that people could have.
And I think from my side, I think Steve and I have worked on many trading card games, and these types of measures are always kind of on the table, but you never like to do them, right? Like there's the banning and there's errata and things like that. They are kind of a necessary part of a trading card game, and the reason they're necessary is a couple of big ones, I think. And the first one is that we'd rather live in a world where we are designing to a fun and excitement level that sometimes results in these types of measures than live in a world where the cards are so well balanced that you can't tell one card from another, right? Because the fun and excitement of opening packs, of finding those combos and finding those synergies is one of the best things about trading card games. And we don't want to, if every card was equal, first of all, that's just impossible. There's no way you could do that. But second of all, building a deck would actually be pretty hard, right? If you're trying to decide what to put in your deck, you're like, well, they're all kind of good. Yeah. And I don't know what to do, right? It's important to have that strata of utility, right, in card games. So I think that's it's something that we, in our work in the past, is something we kind of see eye to eye on. I would rather live in that world, right? Yeah. But I think the other factor is that we have a great team, one of the best in the business, in my opinion, of game designers and developers. But we are still a team. We will never play this game as much as the fans will play it. Right? There's way more of them. They're playing way more games, and so they are going to find these things that Bucky, we knew was going to be a powerful thing, and Discard specifically is a necessary ability in a game to counter other specific strategies, right? We don't love it as its own strategy, though, and that's part of the thing that it enabled that, right? And so these things are going to bubble out, and I think that's just the nature of the art that is trading card games, right? It's not science, right? And so, but I would, like I said, I'd rather live in that world where those things occasionally happen, but we're living in this fun and exciting place, right?
Yeah, cool. Well, so excited for the future of the games. Excited for. I've been here. I haven't gotten to play much Shimmering Skies yet, but I'm so excited to get into it.
And we saw you at the get together. I tried to play with you, but I was too tired. I had to go. Yeah.
No, long day. Let me use my last question to abuse my access to you to make 2 requests.
Okay.
Things I'm sure you.
Wait, let me get the office on speed dial here.
Yeah. Get the mouse. Let's. So
Okay.
number 1, merch. Please, we need some merch. I want to wear the logos. I love the challenge shirt, but I want Big Tink. You know, let me represent the game to the world.
Sure.
And number 2, of course, every time we talk,
Powerline. Oh no, I know.
my man,
I know about your love for Powerline.
my man.
Yeah.
We need him.
Yeah. Well,
We need to see eye to eye, Ryan.
we have duly noted your suggestions. Thank you so much for that.
That's all I can ask.
Dude, it's always good.
Too much.
It's always good to talk to you, man. Thank you so much for your wonderful coverage of our game and your support. It really means a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Steve. And stay tuned for more D23.